Is in studio and Eagle is in his nest. We'll get into the Jack Todd Twitter habits, Draymond's goading the refs during the NBA Finals, and we try to sort through the mess that is LIV Golf. We also talked to Mo Khan of TSN 690 about the Montreal Alliance. We'll also get into this and much more on this episode of Not Sauce for Work on the Hot Sauce Sports Podcast Network. Terry time. Would you rather lose $400 or lose your wallet?
Oh. I had a scare the other day where I lost my wallet at the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
I panicked. Within 4 seconds, I canceled all my cards. I went back home. The guy was waiting for me there with all my stuff unscanned. So I think I'd rather lose $400 than lose my wallet.
I had a terrible weekend. So I went to. I had to go to. It starts with International Donut Day. It was Sunday. Sorry, it was Friday.
There's a day for anything, huh?
So yeah, mostly food stuff. But Donut Day is very important. I love donuts. It's my single greatest dessert. I love it. It's the only thing I can't quit.
Really?
Yeah, love donuts.
Donuts are good.
Love
Like a good Boston cream.
Yeah, well, so like I told my wife, I said we need to celebrate the festivities. We didn't get them on Friday, so I said I'll get them on Saturday. And I had to go pay someone who had done some work at my house. I owed a balance of $400.
Oh.
And so I said, okay, well, I'm going to go get some donuts, and then I'll go pay the guy, and then we'll watch a movie, and we'll eat some donuts.
Yeah.
Great night planned. Go pay for the donuts.
Planning your evenings around donuts is always a very adult thing.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Isn't
the
it?
most adult you can get.
Yeah, it's that's what happens when you are an adult and don't have kids.
Yeah, exactly.
And so go get the donuts at Bernie Bang. Love those dudes. Not a sponsor, but delicious donuts.
Bernie Bang?
Bernie Bang.
Never heard of them.
Yeah, they're on Bernard Street.
Ah.
Yeah. Awesome donuts.
There's a couple good donut spots over there.
Yeah, it's a hotbed of donuts.
I think it's something with the Jews.
It could be.
Yeah, I think it's like a baker, the way like a big bakery thing.
They're just really good with ovens.
It could be. So I then go pay.
Welcome back to the studio, Terry.
I then go to pay the I then go to pay the contractor.
Yeah.
And as I get out of my car, my cards had slipped out of my wallet. And so I scooped them back into my wallet, but the money had also slipped out, but it was not on me.
Oh, the worst.
Tear apart the car, couldn't find it. Withdraw another $400. Call my wife, super angry. And the worst part is, if she would have lost $400, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, it's a significant amount of money. It's not life-changing, like whatever.
Because you're a misogynist, bro.
No, it's just like if anybody else, like if my brother owed me $400 and lost it, I'd been like, don't worry about it. Whatever.
Exactly.
Like I don't care.
Shit happens.
But so like anyway, I go pull out the money. Next day, I'm still feeling terrible, and I had to go buy earth and some stuff for the garden at a hardware store.
Just steal it from your neighbor. It's earth.
I tried, but his earth is terrible. He clearly hasn't taken care of his garden. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go. I'll ask my wife to go because I just don't want to leave the house. I feel shitty about what happened. And she's telling me, no, you're being ridiculous. Just go. You'll feel better. So I go get the earth, and I said, I need to stop by the pharmacy. Get to the pharmacy. I have to pay for what I was getting at the pharmacy. Oh, I guess I left my wallet in the car. Pay with my phone. Get to the car. Wallet's not there. Bring the car home immediately. Told my wife, can you please search? Because I'm going to lose it. I'm gonna set the car on fire.
Yeah.
Which is the totally rational
of
thing
course.
to do.
Lose your wallet, set your car on fire.
Yeah. And then...
Because at least you'll have the insurance money.
Exactly. Well, I get my $400 back because that's about what the car's worth. And so I lost both $400 and my wallet. And I spent the last 2 days... Because it's not only getting your cards replaced. It's that everything is auto-renew.
Oh, my God.
So you have to
You're going to get emails and emails and emails.
I'm trying to preempt it. So it was like...
It happened to me, yeah.
Amazon and Netflix.
Zoom, StreamYard,
Oh
Netflix, name it. Every single one of them.
So the moral of the story is, if I tried to pay you and the card didn't work, I apologize.
There you go.
And with that, it's time for the news. it's the news.
Is it though?
We haven't done that in person in so long.
I know it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. When's the last time I was here?
I still love how John Eamon was
It
in
was
on
supposed to be
though.
last week,
Yeah.
and we all got here at different times.
I was so. Yeah. I mean, that was another thing. I was so proud of John when he said it too. I started laughing.
Yeah,
out
yeah,
loud.
yeah. I laughed on the show because I was like, oh, perfect.
He nailed
Matt
it.
was very confused.
Matt's a good sport at least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know you're fucking panicking because this thing isn't starting yet.
Whatever, you figure out
Yeah,
the clock.
it started, okay? Eagle, as of now, how much time do we have?
You're at 5:45.
Perfect. That's a well-timed intro.
Yeah.
So the NBA finals have started. We're gonna get into the Jimmy Butler shot, but not too much time has passed. We'll just talk about the games that have happened and Draymond Green goading the refs. So Draymond's been known to have these outbursts. He has 4 techs already in the playoffs.
Good for him.
The rules are if you get 5, you get a warning letter from the league.
Oh,
And
nice.
7, you get suspended again.
Oh, okay.
So
that's cool.
they don't care. But Draymond,
Unless he just pops 3 off in the next 3 games, that'd be unbelievable.
he might, and he said something to the effect of, well, no one's going to call the second technical after I have the first one, so I'm going to do my thing and get in people's faces and pull guys' shorts down and knock guys down and do whatever because no one's going to throw me out of the game for just talking or being myself, you know. And so he had a separate video that we're going to watch right now where he was talking about how he's earned it in his career.
Oh.
Now about Draymond Green from the Chase Center in San Francisco. Draymond, as many times as you guys have been to the finals in the last 8 years, 6 times, you've experienced pretty much everything. And after game 1, you said you guys were unfazed by the actual outcome. Having said that, though, giving up 40 points in the fourth quarter on your home floor in game 1, what impact did that have in how you started game 2?
It had a huge impact because the 40 points was a direct impact of us giving up shots in the first quarter. I gave Al Horford a walk-in 3 and got him going. Derek White got a couple open ones that got him going. So we knew that we had to come out aggressive from the very start of the game, making sure guys felt us, and then those shots later in the game, they're not so easy.
You know, turnovers are one thing. Live ball turnovers are like gold to a defensive team. 18 turnovers in this game for Boston. You guys had 15 steals, though. When you are getting those type of turnovers, Draymond, what does that do for you guys? Not just getting easy buckets, but the entire defensive scheme.
I mean, it does a lot. Obviously, you can get some easy buckets out of it, but more importantly, those guys know they feel you. They know you're there. You're swarming. You're not letting guys just pass the ball wherever they want. You're making them play on our terms. And so those turnovers and steals are everything. We knew we had to come out and play with force on the defensive end, and that 15 steals is indicative of that.
All right, so you said 2 things that stood out to me. You said they need to
the
feel us, and we got to play with force. And obviously,
Yeah, you
a
can
lot
cut
of
anytime
that
you go.
burden falls on your shoulders. We
I mean,
saw
the funny
you
part, we
getting
haven't actually
physical
got to the
Jaylen
part
Brown,
we
you
need
with,
to get to.
Grant
Yeah.
Williams, Marcus Smart. What mentality is that for you, Draymond, in a game like this where you know you couldn't fall behind 2-0?
Can't fall behind 2-0. I know that falls on me, the physicality. That's my department. I have to make sure I lead in that area and everyone else will follow. So wanted to come out physical from the gate, make sure guys knew that that's the intensity, that's the physicality level that we need to be at in order to win in the NBA Finals. And so I just wanted to come out and lead by examples and get a guy something to follow.
All right, so with that said, how concerned were you that they may have given you a second technical when you and Jaylen Brown were down on the floor?
Not at all.
Word? I mean, you are Draymond Green. You said they treat you differently.
That is, but it's the NBA Finals. And, like I said, I wear my badge of honor. It's not that I'm saying they necessarily treat me different. I've earned differential treatment, and I enjoy that. I embrace that. But I'm never going to let someone stand over me. I'm a man first. My kids are in the stands. I don't play by like those type of games. And so whatever happens at that point happens.
All right, fair enough. So now the series 1-1. You got to go to Boston for 2 games there.
But
you've been here so many times, as I mentioned before.
It's like like Sidney Crosby when he first got into the league and he was like, complaining all the time or whatever. He still complains, but like, he's kind of earned the right.
Sidney Crosby, right? That's
Crosby, exactly. Yeah. He's kind of earned the right, and it's shitty that's the way it is. But at the end of the day, and also, it's usually a lot of the same refs. These guys have been in the finals forever. They know how these guys are in the finals. It's part of the whole thing. Like in hockey, there's so many penalties that happen that aren't called in the playoffs that are called during the regular season. So, I mean, refs know how to control the guys just so they can have an entertaining game. You know, they're not gonna take
in
these
the
guys'
end,
characters.
we
away from them.
want to watch
Of course.
the teams at full strength, right?
Of
We
course,
want to
yeah.
watch the Warriors with Draymond Green. And I remember, like, sticking to the NBA, like, Rasheed Wallace once in the finals, like, someone said, like, how are you not going to tee him up?
Yeah.
And ref said to him, well, that's just how Rasheed talks. Like, that's just how he is.
Oh.
Like, I can't, if I call it technical for that, he'll never play a basketball game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
At the end of the day, it's like you can't take their character, you can't take their skill set away from them.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's it. He does do a lot of that.
I like Draymond Grau, and now I used to hate him. I kind of like him now.
Well, look, he's got an anxious character, and that's part of the game. Like, the team gets a boost by the way he goes people on. He gets in people's heads. And,
Oh no, I meant
Yeah.
I've always liked him as a player because that's the type of player that I like. You
Yeah.
know, like my favorite hockey player is Tom Wilson. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah.
just throw them all in there. Kachucks, Tom Wilson. I was gonna say D'Angelo, but no. Ryan Reeves. Those are the types of guys. So Draymond Green fits in that category. I didn't like how he was. Like, he always complained in the media. He would just always say the dumb
Well,
shit.
now he has his
I'm
own
the best
podcast.
this. Yeah, exactly.
So, like, now he doesn't need to go to the media to complain. He'll just
He'll
go on,
yeah,
turn his mic on,
Yeah,
and
and
like
he's
us.
able to say, and you can listen to him in long form, and you
Yeah.
and you understand his thoughts, and that's the thing about Draymond Green that I like.
Yeah, for sure.
That I used to fucking hate.
The thing he's been defending Steph on all playoffs is there's a lot of media folk, Kendra Perkins famously saying, weirdly early in the playoffs, saying that Steph Curry needs to win a Finals MVP to prove that he's great, and then like two
No.
nights ago said the opposite, that he doesn't need to do it.
Yeah,
But that's Perk being Perk.
Kendrick Perkins is the Colin Cowherd of ESPN.
Yeah, well, it's true because Colin no longer at
There
ESPN
you go.
famously. But yeah, it's what I just found that to be a strange, like, sticking point for a lot of people because
It's
I don't
weird.
even remember who wins the Finals MVP most years.
No, I mean who is like there's even in the NFL too. Like sometimes it's like the most random guys that are winning it just because.
Well, like
they-
Iguodala won the one year because he was perceived as shutting down LeBron.
Also, he had like a big three at some point.
yeah,
like,
he had
you
a
know,
big shot.
few
He had a
big
big shot, and he was the guy who was assigned, not entirely, but assigned mostly to
Yeah, so I don't
to
think.
guarding LeBron.
I mean, was this player like whoever got the Finals MVP when Steph didn't get the Finals MVP?
and it was Durant the other two times.
okay. I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
And at that point, like, what else can the guy do?
He changed literally the way all of the NBA is played.
What else can he do?
Like-
why wouldn't he be considered great for winning all these championships? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, and,
Like
and
that's
it's the
just
thing.
boggles
Like,
my mind.
he has the personal accolades. He has the fact that, again, he changed the way all of basketball is played
Yeah.
across the world because of the way he played the game.
Yeah, I used to play like Steph Curry when I was in high school.
Oh yes, I'm sure you were just as efficient as Steph Curry.
Oh, definitely was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 0% chance.
All threes. I
Um,
don't even know what the paint looks like.
but yeah, so
Maybe
so
you eat poutines. You're like Steph Curry.
but so
Steph Curry, more like it was the curry that I was putting on my food.
It
yeah,
shows.
that's a thing.
Thanks, Mo.
Mo Condon Studio is gonna be joining us in a little bit.
Mo just called me fat.
Yeah,
I called you PHAT.
Oh, thanks.
Fat.
Pretty hot and tempted.
Fat Curry.
I'm fat Curry.
Yeah.
PHAT Curry.
Oh, yeah. So it's the thing people point to is like he quote unquote disappears in some games, but like he also is the kind of player who makes the right decision. So like if he's being doubled, he'll kick it out, and
Yeah.
like other people will make shots, right?
Yeah.
Like Iguodala, for example, when he got that Finals MVP. So I'm curious to see how that works out. Deshaun Watson has had more news breaking for him or against him rather. The New York Times article that came out yesterday suggested that he hired 66 massage therapists over 17 months.
Who needs that many massages?
By comparison, I'm hiring my second in about that much time because
You're old.
because the one that I normally hire has a funeral to attend.
There you go.
So it's
But
literally the only
66.
reason.
Eagle, how many massage therapists have you had in your life?
Well, considering I've like gone to like spas to get them
spas don't
done,
count, though.
so
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, 5 total.
No,
And,
but
like,
spas don't count. It's like
20
when you
years?
hire someone for massage.
Oh,
Yeah.
then like 0.
Okay.
I've had one and one osteo. So 1 + 1 osteo.
I've had
Like,
two
that's all
in
I've
my
had.
life and one moved,
So
and now I have another one.
why do you
But I
need
mean, this also
66?
depends on how you're defining massage therapist. If you're talking about someone I'm comfortable taking my dick out and masturbating, it's basically just my girlfriend's. So
But that's the
Oh,
thing
there you
is
go.
he's hiring the way one would hire
Yeah.
escorts and prostitutes, right? Like that's
Yeah.
that's the habit. And then his lawyer.
We just found out what Eagle does to his girlfriend.
Yeah, now we know. Now we know. She has to dress up in 66 different outfits. But the thing
Today
is,
you're Denise.
Red. You're John today. What?
did you hear the
Put on the outfit.
Did you hear the comments by his lawyer, Rusty Hardin,
No.
who said
With
that
a name like that, it's probably the
well,
best comment ever.
there's no crime here. It's just a happy ending. If
That guy. Oh,
if you're not paying for sex,
he's like, don't like. I feel like people have done it. Like, what are you talking about? Were these people high? Did you go to a rub and tug spot?
no.
Yeah, no. So no. Then the problem is that,
Here's the most alarming
like,
detail.
were you with Robert Kraft? Was he there?
Was he next to you?
Was he next to you? No. So you weren't in the same place.
Yeah.
You did something where the person did not want you to do
Did
that.
not. It was not expecting that to be part of the job.
Yeah, but there was one part about the testimony of one of the women where she said that he whipped it out and then he ejaculated and it went all over her face. And I'm like, man, that was a far shot. Like that shot was like from the bottom, from the floor, all the way to the ceiling.
Well,
Or maybe he just goes really fast and she didn't have time to get out of the way because she was still like working on the thighs and just.
It's pretty fucked up.
yeah. The
Not just whipping it out. Like who does that?
I don't know. I keep my boxes.
And then imagine a guy who does that. People know that they did that, and he still has a job. That's the part that's
not only
Well-
this still has a job, there was a bidding war for his services, and he got a raise to which he got $230 million, and
to a team that already has a guy where they paid him
guaranteed
over
as
100.
well.
Guaranteed.
they structured his contract so that he would pay the minimum amount of fine if he got suspended an entire season.
So here's the part I don't like about this entire story, right?
The one part.
The one
Well-
part, yeah.
Well,
There's only one.
the fact that
penis.
he's now signed, because up until now, I think we're on the same page of he should never play in the NFL ever again.
I mean, I hope so.
But clearly,
He's going to.
the executive team and the managers and the GMs and everything are totally fine with this. So remember, the Browns did a full, thorough investigation and were
thorough.
comfortable with the facts and what was going on and that it was time to move on. Meanwhile, the 24th person is not known to Deshaun Watson's legal team, never disclosed as a thing, essentially. So the Browns are hearing about this for the first time. In theory, that could be breach of contract in which they can void the whole thing. They won't, obviously. But then there's also the aspect of the New York Times is just an investigative journalist, and they found all this stuff out.
Well, because they
If
actually
you're
did
the Browns
investigate
and you
it.
say you did an investigation, you don't find 66 Methuses in 17 months? You don't find all these things? Really? Are you fucking kidding me?
Like,
So
what's the investigation they did? They did a couple Google
Well, they
searches.
did-
They asked
they
their
asked
wives.
Deshaun, did you do it? He said no. Like, okay.
Full, thorough
We're done.
investigation.
Then
By
we're
the way,
done.
the voice you heard before was Mo Khan, and he's
I don't think they hear it.
No, they heard him before.
Guaranteed.
If you hear it, they hear it.
I don't hear it. I had to take my ear off so I can hear him.
Unless you're for real, I can hear him.
You have your headset off.
I can hear him though. No, I hear him in my headset.
All right.
I can make it louder.
Say something.
Dave Chappelle's skit. You know the headset skit.
All right. I do hear it now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
didn't hear it the
Mo Khan,
first time.
Mo Khan.
Um,
He'll be joining us.
I said that also before. Pay
MTL
attention to your own show.
talking about the MTL Alliance. And
So the most shocking part of the article that I totally didn't illegally share in our group chat
yeah.
was the fact that the Houston Texans helped him draft an NDA about halfway through this to start presenting to masseuses. I mean, but like an NDA doesn't preclude you
From doing what you're gonna do.
Yeah, like
It just means the girl
you
can't.
can't
say
you can't be
anything.
like, in case you get murdered, your family has to sign this NDA. Like, no.
But
if you do something illegal, an NDA doesn't protect you.
But this guy who sold everybody, he's like, listen, I just like to do it, man. I just like to do that, and that's it. I don't touch them or anything. And they're like, oh, you know, it sounds okay. Let's make them sign an NDA so they don't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
And if they do-
Apparently, it was delivered from a former Secret Service agent to
course.
him as part of their whole legal security team. After there were threats essentially brought up against him of like, oh, I can expose you or whatever it was,
Yeah.
right? And so that's when they got the NDA for future masseuse sessions, of which was done at a club that they themselves were organizing for him. So
Yeah,
basically,
they booked a room for
they
him.
booked
in
the
a
room and
hotel
everything
club.
and give him a membership at the place.
So
So they're
they
complicit.
They
essentially.
aided and abetted.
Which is another reason why they never want to settle this and they want to make it into court because in theory, if he's accused and convicted of this, they can also pursue the NFL because the NFL was complicit.
That's fucked.
Yeah.
Don't forget though, they're not going to press charges, right? Because Harris County twice have said no charges will be laid down. So Keep that in mind.
So there you
Oh,
go.
Mo has a mic.
Yeah.
I do have a mic.
From my angle, I can't really see him. So I thought he was just talking really loud into Eagle's mic.
No.
Okay, it all makes sense now.
Doofus.
Eagle, my headset's barely working. Also,
I mean,
so
that's fine.
this is gonna be an interesting show.
Also, can we just call something out? 2 more women, and then can we have a double baker's dozen? Can we start calling it that?
No, we're not calling it that, Eagle.
Speaking of
We're
Baker,
not calling it that, Eagle. Fucking God, man.
Speaking of Baker,
3 for 3.
They've excused him from minicamp, so they're gonna pay him to not play on the team. But if I'm Baker, there's a 0% chance I'm ever playing for the Browns.
No,
again,
yeah.
right?
Why would you?
Like
It's embarrassing. Like it's if he puts on a Browns jersey, like just cut my balls off.
He also played injured for them this season
Yeah.
while not getting an extension, and then all of this happens. It's
feel
awful. They're gonna have to cut him.
As much as I've ripped on Baker because of the way he is, I feel really bad for him. Like this sucks. Like at least trade the guy.
Yeah.
Give him his decency.
Is this the moment where Deshaun Watson gets suspended? They give Baker the starting job, and he decides to not show up for the game on Sunday.
He's not taking it. There's a 0% chance he's playing for the Browns.
Yeah.
If he does, his agent is incompetent. Like you can't get cucked by a team, and then get completely mistreated by them, and then risk injury to which you'll have no value.
Exactly.
No, but
You've already
no,
been
no.
injured twice.
They tell you you're the starter, and you say, okay, cool. And then literally game 1 Sunday, you just don't show up to the
Yeah,
stadium.
you hold out.
I guess so. I would have just said no from the beginning.
Yeah.
I would have been no, trade me. Every single day, every single media
you
availability.
do that until right at the last minute where they're not going to trade you, in which case you say, yeah, okay.
I wonder
what's
that
I
in
wonder
teams
what-
his value.
I wonder what's going on with that though. Like I wonder
He
what
has
they're
no value.
He
They're
ha-
going
he
to cut him.
absolutely
He's
has
going to
value.
sign with Seattle.
The only reason he quote unquote has no trade value is because teams know he's going to get cut. Like Terry pointed out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Actually, like that's the only reason he hasn't been traded is that teams know they can get him for free.
exactly.
So why would you trade for him if you can just throw money?
They
at him?
hold all the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Unless
essentially pay him a base salary of $800,000 and force the Browns to pay the difference. too.
yeah. Exactly.
Um,
Khan with some in-depth knowledge there.
we have an interesting situation developing now with golfers that are heading to the Saudi-funded LIV Golf. I have a few.
What the fuck
thoughts on
is this league? It just comes out of nowhere,
Well,
starts
it's a
giving
golf
people
super
money.
league
Yeah,
where
I
the-
get it, but like,
I like the name they'll live, right? 54 holes.
yeah, that's what it
LIV,
is. Yeah, that's what I read. But like, that's cool. I mean, I like that. And 54 holes is good. It's like it's 3 games.
Yeah.
I found 4 was a bit too much.
I mean, if it's a major, I don't mind. If
Yeah.
it's any other tournament, I don't care.
But
that
how
much?
much are these guys getting paid? Like now, Dustin Johnson's
So
gone.
Dustin Johnson's rumored to get about 175 million. Phil Mickelson's somewhere between 100 and 200 million.
What about Keimer? Like all these guys, Kevin Na. Like how much are these guys getting?
Them I don't know. I know. So according
it-
to Greg Norman, Tiger turned down a high 9-digit offer.
What?
High 9-digit offer,
$1 billion.
at least, because they said high 9-digit.
Yeah.
So it's like 6
What?
billion perhaps.
But you know what? He already has fuck you money. Like how much more money can you have?
Yeah.
And if he's like, no, I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia every weekend to freaking
But it's
golf.
not. So the tournaments are not all going to be in Saudi Arabia.
But most of them are.
for now, with the other tournaments will pop up all over the
Oh,
world.
that's for sure. But he's still gonna have to go back and forth. The guy has a lot of health problems. He's already making a
But
ton.
the
He has
biggest
kids. He's there's no reason why Tiger should have gone.
the biggest.
But
con-
$1 billion is probably a good reason.
But the biggest concern is
Just buy
sort of like the PR hit and playing in a league that essentially the Saudis are doing this to sort of make themselves look like they're not terrible in terms of, again, these are similar groups of people that beheaded a journalist, right?
Recently.
Recently. And also, despite wars taking place in Afghanistan and Iraq, it seems as though most of the people involved in 9/11 had Saudi passports, right?
Yeah.
There is tension between sort of U.S. and Saudi relations, and this is sort of their way to
I mean,
normalize how they've
9/11
looked to the rest of the world.
was an
But
inside job, but whatever.
This is what I feel.
We can get to that another day.
And we can. But
Inside job.
this is what I thought about.
There's a tin foil under this hat.
Yes, well, even above the hat. When I was
Call me the
thinking about
Tin
this, and I said, you know what? Yes, there's been some stuff in Saudi that's not awesome, but also like we're literally started a show 2 weeks ago talking about children being slaughtered in schools.
Yeah.
And we're okay with a league that plays largely in a country where that's apparently okay. Right? Where nothing is being done to address that issue. And how much better is it
Well,
You know
they're
what I mean?
doing
Like-
stuff now. They brought Matthew McConaughey out, so
Oh, that's true. That solves everything.
Matthew
That-
McConaughey
that's-
came, did a speech. Everything's gonna change. Everything.
Yeah.
Love Matthew McConaughey. Love his passion.
Love his accent. Love
Love
that
it.
he gets to work with a southern accent.
Love Matthew McConaughey in general. Like, good guy all around. Like, he's genuine. But like,
I've stopped saying I love guys because 3 days later something terrible in the news breaks about them. I'm like, well, I guess I don't love
Yeah.
this guy.
don't love that guy anymore. But Matthew McConaughey,
Murdered 18 people. Like,
love the guy.
maybe not.
But I don't know. I just find it's all fake. It's all fucking smoke and mirrors all the time.
But that's
Every
the
4
thing.
years.
Is it's frustrating because I understand there are issues in Saudi, but to us they're very clear. But we're also neighboring country to the U.S. Like, do countries around Saudi feel that way about the PGA? That you guys are okay in a country
I doubt it.
that where there's this issue with poverty, you're a developed nation with this issue with
Yeah.
poverty, with this issue with the gun violence and all that. And I was like,
No.
is this a glass house situation? Am I completely off base here?
No, absolutely not. You're not off base. You're, the only thing is, I don't think they're looking at us like, they're like, oh, but how can you do that? They're not looking down. They're like, don't be hypocrites. You know, at that point, I think
Yeah.
that's the way they see it. But at the end of the day, I don't think they give a shit about anything we do over here.
Well, yeah, like I mean, you know, the billionaires who all made their money in the United States, like, you know, let's not forget Elon Musk's family owned an emerald mine.
Yeah.
Like, that's not clean money either, right?
Yeah.
So, I just something I thought about, just a different way to look at it. Dustin Johnson, Byron DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, the latest to join. I like initially Phil Mickelson's response was terrible, but he basically now said, I have gambling debts. As his friend Billy Walters, famed gambler, gets out of prison this week, he just announced to the world, look, I'm broke. I need more money. I lost $40 million in gambling last year.
Crazy. That's bananas.
I don't even know how you like. We like to gamble, right?
Yeah.
You're never close to losing your house in gambling,
No.
right? Like, how do you get to that? I guess there's an addiction component, right? But
Fuck, man. You're always chasing at that point.
it seems so stressful.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah,
it
it's
seems
bad.
like such a stressful
It's
life.
really bad.
I hate every bet that I lose, even though it's most of them.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate
Like,
that feeling.
The worst ones.
How can you have that feeling that often?
Oh, the worst.
And joining us now is Mo Khan from TSN 690, where we will talk about the Montreal Alliance. Mo, when I was in high school, I was one of the few kids who was really into basketball. It was like a secondary or tertiary sport, whereas now it seems to be kind of growing in Canada and in Montreal especially. So is that your feeling as well?
Yeah, no question. I mean, you're seeing more and more kids play basketball in the province of Quebec, male and female. And in a few weeks from now, we'll have the NBA draft, and Montreal North's own Ben Mathurin will go top 10 projected from the University of Arizona.
There you go.
And that's going to be three guys from one area of Montreal, right? You have Chris Boucher, Lou Dort, and Mathurin going 1-2. Those three guys going to the NBA in the last 4 or 5 years. So there's no question the sport's growing, and I think the Alliance will definitely help them enhance the sport and profile of what they can be for those 3, 4, 5 years coming up.
I remember I used to like make fun of Mo because he was telling me that like basketball can survive here, and I was like, man, it's impossible. There's no way. Like there's not enough. You know, I'm completely wrong. Like
Yeah.
the support that
Well, the
that
landscape
Alliance
changed,
have been
right?
getting, yeah, it's.
I mean, we have the
nuts, yeah.
strippers for it.
It's also first year. It's
We have the
new.
strippers for it.
That's true.
Because it seems like there's always a scandal or something, right? This player's at this place, James Harden this, Kevin Durant that. Like, we can do that. We can have a bunch of NBA stars going to strip clubs.
Well, so what's funny is, and Mo, I'm sure you know this, is basketball players who play in Toronto like Saturday or Sunday afternoons, the visiting, like you bet the under and you take the Raptors because like they go the visiting teams go out to party in Toronto.
Yeah.
And
Right.
are not up to playing the next day. Imagine Montreal. Like, Toronto is not the party city that Montreal is, right?
There's a good story. I won't say who it was, but there was an NBA player that played here when there was the game, Raptors against whoever it was. And he was hungover, and he got himself kicked out of the game. And someone said to me, he doesn't want to play in this game. He wants out. And within 5 minutes, he got ejected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, hungover.
So that is that's an advantage we have. But so for the CEBL and for the Montreal Alliance, you're the voice of the
Apparently I am,
Montrealans, right?
yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Like we've been friends a long time. Like all of us in this room have been friends for about a decade, if not more.
Sure.
You kept that as a secret. Well, how'd that all come about?
So a year ago, when the CEBL announced that Montreal would get a franchise, I had told my now former colleague Joey Alfieri that, hey, my goal is to be the voice of this team.
Why former colleague?
He's at the Alouettes.
Oh, full time. Like that's his thing. Oh,
exactly.
okay.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, man, definitely. So as we progressed along towards this fall season, that return of sport came back, and then we hit the new year. People were like, all right, reach out now. So I did. And at first it was, the classic, hey, yeah, sure, we'll keep in contact. And then they don't keep in contact. And then you kind of have to keep on knocking the door type of thing. And then by late April, early May, when things are starting to roll for them, got a call from the president, Annie LaRouche, and she goes, look, we want to offer you the job. I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Fucking right, man.
And
That's
then
awesome.
it wasn't anything like, hey, we need to see this or this. She knew who I was and recommendations and whatnot. So I'm very thankful for those who went to bat for me with Annie to make.
And
me
your
their voice.
color guy is
Dwight Walton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Canadian basketball legend. You know what I mean?
Olympian, exactly.
Yeah.
And Gabby Bear as well. So when she told me I was working with Dwight Walton as my analyst and Gabby Bear as a silent reporter, I was like, hey, I work with both. She had no idea that I did. And I said, hey, I know them very well. I have a report with both of them, so there's going to be no hiccups doing this broadcast with her.
When I saw Dwight's name when you put on your post, I
Yes.
didn't know who the broadcast team was yet, right? So I saw your post, and it announced you and Dwight, and I had this permanent smile on my face, and I had this Obi-Wan Kenobi moment, like, that's a name I have not heard in a long time. I was just really happy to hear him doing stuff for the Alliance. It's super cool. Mo, what's the environment like at Lions games so far?
Very good. I mean, there's been 3 home games. They had first game sold out. Second game, which was a midweek Tuesday night, they had about over 2,500 plus. And then the last game on Sunday with Tour de Lille in Montreal. For those who don't know, that's
Which
a bike,
paralyzes the city's
yeah,
traffic
bike
and
event.
public
Exactly.
transit and everything. Yeah,
Which goes right literally in front of the Verdun Auditorium, which is the home court for the Alliance. Had over 3,000, right? Amidst the whole chaos of traffic and all that stuff. So they've done very well with that. And what makes it even more unique is that you have fans who aren't, some are wearing NBA uniforms. That's fine. But a lot are wearing Alliance gear, like Alliance basketball jerseys, hats, T-shirts, the whole nine.
I looked for one. I look for a jersey. I'm gonna get one if I go to the game.
Yeah. So definitely there is an interest, and there is fans who are rocking it. Which compared to the Alouettes, look, the Alouettes have a bigger fan base, but though the Alouette fans, I made the point last week, they're still wearing old school Alouette players, not the current day Alouettes.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
you won't. There's not a lot of like Vernon Adams jerseys.
No,
out
there
There's still
isn't.
Calvillo, Cahoon,
Jamal Richardson, and all those guys. But
SJ Green.
exactly. But
I also find the
Marco
environment.
Puriak.
I mean, and Mo, you can't. I know you can't say this, but I find the environment at Al's games to be not enjoyable. And
it can be better, yes.
And from what I've seen on Instagram and hearing, well, unfortunately, the broadcast this week didn't work out too great.
I was gonna say Mo sounds really good on our show.
Yeah,
Thanks.
maybe hire Eagle also as a producer. But the thing is, like from what I've seen, like especially on Instagram, is it looks like a great atmosphere, and that's so important to nail because like when you're asking people to spend their money, it's not enough to just put in a game anymore. You need to have a great environment.
Yeah, there's a lot of pageantry with this, and you bring up social media. And before, I'm going to say in the last week, they had about 4,000 followers on Instagram. Now they're close to 11,000.
Amazing.
And that's in the span of 10 days, right?
Yeah.
So they're connecting with younger demographics, and that's
Well, their
key.
social media has been really good. Like that's
Yeah.
how that's how I got wind of them. And then when I heard you, when I heard you were doing the play, I'm like, oh wow, it's fucking sick. So I followed them everywhere, instantly because you want to get in on the ground up, like at the ground zero. That's where you want to get at.
for
Yeah,
sure.
they're definitely going to plan some hot sauce outing, and you and I, Terry, will go to the game.
Yeah, let's do
Be
it.
good times. Be
Yeah,
good
yeah.
To
times.
put it in perspective, the Alouettes have 57,000 followers. I think the Alliance is going to catch them and beat them.
Oh, I think so too because the Alouettes, the
yeah.
CFL, Mo and I have spoken about this, and they're starting to get a little bit better, but there's no presence.
And by the way,
online.
like we know players in the CFL.
Yeah.
Well, all of us do in this room.
Yeah.
We're not saying anything negative about the athleticism, the
yeah,
players.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing in the CFL is an incredible feat. You're professionally making money playing sports.
Second
That's
highest
big.
football league in North
Yeah.
America.
Yeah,
It's a huge pro sports league. It just from a presentation, like I have American friends that if they would not be able to watch. Like
yeah.
my friends that are Georgia Bulldogs fans.
Yeah. Oh
like,
my God.
I
Yeah.
could not take them.
It doesn't
to Russell
matter
Stadium,
if the
right?
starting offensive lineman is from Georgia. It doesn't matter. Like it's just
Yeah.
they're not going to watch.
No, they won't be able to do it.
it's not. Yeah,
it's just not what they're used
the
to.
big end zones too. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, it does.
20.
It's unique. It's a charm of the CFL, right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, you take it for what it is, right? And it's a different product. And you
Well,
can't-
never call that out with CFL fan. They're very defensive of their product.
very
But
different. No, I'm
maybe-
not saying it's a bad.
No.
But the
only
things I've
thing
been
is-
defensive about most of my life are the things I've been most wrong about.
No, my issue is that like at Percival Molson Stadium where the Owls play, like the end zone isn't a complete rectangle
No, because of the track.
because of the track,
Like
but
corners.
but other fields have complete rectangles, so it's not uniform across the board. That's the only things I feel like the CFL misses out on is that they don't have like a strict guideline when it comes to that. They just kind
But
of take
also,
what
you
they
would
can
never
get.
see a serious like Division 1 football team or NFL team
With a
track around
Exactly.
the stadium,
That's
right?
what- yeah.
And there's a few that have that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's and like we know the finances for the CFL. It's not like they can easily build stadiums.
Also, but it's like they rent that field, right?
Yeah.
Right, Mo?
They're renters.
Yeah.
They don't have their own property. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
So that's another thing too, is that they don't even have a big say in anything.
yeah,
And they don't have enough money to build. And now, like I said it for the Grey Cup last year, I went on a rant that there was no reason why any Grey Cup stuff shouldn't have been on my timeline. Every algorithm, I follow a lot of CFL players. I follow the CFL. I follow TSN. I follow CFL on TSN, all that stuff. Follow MoCon. I should have seen something about the Grey Cup. I didn't see anything about the Grey Cup.
yeah.
And so hopefully it gets better. It looks like it has on Twitter. I mean, it's
like,
a lot of it.
It regularly happens where, as a casual, I don't know the Grey Cup's happening until it's halfway through the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Until 5 minutes before kickoff, where you place a bet, you know?
Well, and I get mad because it's too late for you to place a bet, which is the only way I can watch games these days.
Until Chris Berman covers it the week after on NFL.
Yeah,
Countdown.
Grey Cup.
How good is Dominic Green?
He's very good. Unfortunately, he had the yips in game 2. So game 1, he scored 36.
Yeah, it went nuts.
And then game 2, he was he made some huge, crucial interventions on the defensive end for the Alliance, and he's been steady since then. He's been phenomenal. This Alliance DNA is based off of tough, strong team defense.
Yeah, they got a Greekster too.
That's right. And
Gaios.
And they transitioned to offense where they spread you out, and they love the 3-point ball. That's their calling card. That's their love interest.
Well,
And
they
they've done well with
play
it.
they play a lot like sort of the modern NBA. They're long. They at a lot of positions. They seem to space the
They don't
floor.
have much size. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
They
No,
have to
but
they have to win with what they have.
But for like it's kind of like sort of like, you know, to scale down to a degree. But how the Raptors have a bunch of guys who are 6'8", like
Yeah.
like they that's the new NBA where you have guys who play sort of a lot of different positions, right? And
Right.
it's all about spacing and shooting and defense, and it's pretty cool. I didn't think that it's not the kind of basketball I thought we'd see immediately out the gates with CBL.
Yeah, and look, they're going to have a tough run in the schedule. They have Edmonton on Wednesday night, and then they go to Guelph, the return match on the weekend, and they have Niagara coming up on the next home game, which is on the 15th of June. And that's 3 tough games.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can come away 2-1, I think that's fantastic shape for them because at that point they would be 5-3, and with 12 games left. Remember, it's a 20-game season, so it's not a marathon, but an actual sprint. And I think the target number will be at minimum 8 wins, if not 10, to get in the playoffs as a low-end seed. And they could be on their way to doing that if they can take some wins now and have no angst going towards the final 5 games of the year.
So you think like, okay, I mean, let's get realistic here. What are the chances I can be like the 13th guy on the roster? Like just sit at the edge of the bench.
0.0%.
Just sit at the edge of the bench. Like it's
When was
all-
the last time you touched the basketball?
Maybe courtside seats you can sit on the edge of the bench, but that's about it for you.
Yes,
I don't
we'll
have to.
accept
I don't
those.
have to play. I just want to sit there in the tracksuit. I just want the tracksuit.
0.0. We'll just order your tracksuit.
I want to be the
How's
hype guy. I want to be the hype man.
I was
You
gonna
know,
say, you could be a hype man. You
yeah,
could do that.
like always, like the one white guy at the end of the college, at the end of the line in the NCAA tournament. Like always, that one white guy that just hypes everybody
like
up.
a guy
I wanna
hits
be
a
that
3
guy.
and you're like, can I say it? Can I say it?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
like, no, you can never say it.
Never say it. Do not put your
That's-
three
that's-
down.
I always
Don't
say
do that
I
either.
love Terry's unchecked arrogance. I gotta get his mirrors in my house.
No,
Because
I'm
like,
not saying I
the
want.
last time you touched the basketball is at least a decade.
No, I'm not saying that I would play. I just want to be the hype guy on the bench. That's it.
On a pro basketball team,
So
you
why don't
earn a
you- why don't you just
salary.
become a male
from pro
cheerleader then?
basketball
No, I don't want money.
Oh, in that case, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll just do it.
Just be a male cheerleader.
Yeah, but that's
Do
it.
they
But I
have a
want.
mascot.
But I want to
Yeah.
be on the bench. Like I
Totally.
want.
You could
I
be
want.
the mascot.
He wants the tracksuit, guys.
I want to the unknowing that when they look at the bench, they see me and they're like,
He wants
"Oh, that
tearaway
guy,
pants.
that guy must have a really good shot." Like they just, I want a little bit of respect for not earning it.
For not- okay.
Yeah,
He'd be the Greek version of Khalid El-Amin, the former UConn basketball
Yes,
player from 20
exactly.
years
Yeah,
ago. Yeah,
exactly. Good call, Mo. That's me.
that's you.
That's me.
When's next game, Mo?
They play Wednesday night against the Edmonton Stingers, the defending CEBL champions, and that is going to be an ultimate test for them. I think it would be a good test to see where they stack up with the Blue Bloods of this league. And after that, they go to Guelph and then home to Niagara. And as I said before, if they can go 2-1, if that's the best case scenario, I think that's fantastic for them to be 5-3 at the 8-game mark of the season.
Well, it'd be good. It'll be ahead of Game 6 in the NBA, which is happening next Thursday. So you have back-to-back basketball nights. Sounds pretty good to me.
Absolutely.
Mo, you want to join us for rapid fire?
Let's do it.
Sure, why not?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go rapid fire here.
Oh, we didn't even talk about J. Cole. But I mean, like the stars come out.
I was trying to do a full CBL interview without mentioning.
No, but it's cool. Like just to say, like the fact that he did that too. That's just gonna make Montreal go.
Well, put it this
nuts
way:
also.
it's up the ticket value
Yeah,
for
it's
for
great.
away games.
It's a
which
good
is
thing.
great for the league.
Yeah,
right?
it's a
more
good thing.
profitable.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Of course.
I'm not.
It's just like every
I get it,
CBL
yeah.
thing I see has to involve J. Cole. I was like, let's be the show that.
But what
doesn't
he
mention
did
J. Cole.
is big. Like it's big for that league, and
Absolutely.
we want the
It's-
league to succeed
But
because
Drake showed up, right?
Exactly.
and it helps that he
And-
doesn't
and-
suck, right? Like it helps that he's good too.
Yeah, Taylor Rooks too.
Yeah.
All right, our first rapid fire. Hack Todd, longtime local Montreal columnist Jack Todd, had some DMs leaked this week by either someone he was flirting with or someone who catfished
I
him.
didn't see this.
My guess
Which in the
is
chat?
that this
I
is a
didn't.
catfish because this is the Twitter account right now.
Oh,
That's a shame. But NHL picturesque.
Pictures.
NHL pictures.
But what was the conversation?
It was
It was basically about how Jack Todd was flirting with someone's wife, even though himself is married, and it was a whole back and forth about like, ooh,
and
careful.
there was pictures of her under region with parts of it blacked out for the Twitter.
as well as a percentage of horniness.
Yeah,
And
the
it
conversation centered around the percentage of horniness, like how horny are you now? And one would be like
97%?
70. So I tweeted and I wondered how close the metrics were to true shooting. And
Oh.
Jack Todd has yet to get back to me.
I think I'm constantly 40% horny.
Yeah.
I mean, minimum.
True shooting?
Minimum.
I had
Yeah.
no idea about this until you had told me this off air.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like, so I don't have an issue with Jack Todd specifically. I have an issue
He's
with
weird
that
on Twitter.
type of columnist who's always preaching from above, the super moral. Like,
Negative Nancy.
yeah, can do no wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
And really coming down on players and guys don't have
Yeah.
courage and these guys are bad character.
Very matter of
The
fact.
guy who's saying players have bad character.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Anyway.
I like it when it
Todd.
happens to those guys.
Jack Todd. We'll miss him.
Hack Todd.
Hack Todd.
All right, next, sexy time. Miami Heat executive Pat Riley had an interesting exchange during his yearly media availability when he was asked about the direction of the team. Why is there no sound? Oh, that's
Eagles
The factors
utter
go
failure.
into that type of decision.
I run it back with my wife every week.
What does his wife have to do with it?
I run it back with my wife every
When you're
week.
trying to decide of whether to run it back or if a team needs changes to kind of invigorate the roster,
675.
what type of factors go into that type of decision?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I run it back with my wife every week.
Love it.
He's
Pat
in great
Riley.
shape, by the way.
He is, man.
Yeah.
One of the good ones.
He also, in the same media availability, told the journalist that he could do more push-ups than all of them.
He's one of the good ones for sure. That guy.
I don't have sports idols per se, but I always had these like coaches I like dreamt that I could play for when I was a kid. And Pat Riley was that for me. Like when I was
Yeah.
playing basketball, I always wanted to be a Pat Riley guy. Like I would this is gonna be hard to
Bill
believe.
Parcells.
I would finish high school,
Yeah,
run a
Parcells.
5K, then go shoot hoops, then go home to do my homework and have dinner. Like because I was so obsessed with like the
You wanted to play
insane
for
condition.
You wanted to be the 13th guy on the.
Yeah, I want to be the 13th guy in the Knicks. Exactly. Which actually had a better chance than the Alliance.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
All right, next. 8-2 Régent. Montreal Canadiens goaltender Carey Price won the Bill, and I'm going to read this the way you've written it.
Thanks.
Matherin, but it's
Don't
actually
matter, it matters.
Masterton.
Because it
Bill
matters.
Masterton. Everybody's getting
Trophy
so mad.
for perseverance. This was no thanks to many of our local journalists who did not support him, with people from the Journal de Montréal, La Presse, etc., all not putting him in their top 3 ballots.
I mean, listen, and Mo Khan might shine a little more light on this, but I don't think that anybody is obligated to vote for the home team.
No.
Like,
but
why?
it- but
What
what-
defeats the whole purpose
But
of
what's
the
the
vote?
reason? But what's the reason that he's kept off the ballot? Right? Like it's a
He's
Barry
not kept
Bonds
off
thing.
the ballot. He won. They
But
just
why
didn't-
did they not vote for him?
Why they didn't vote for him?
When all of the other media recognizes the perseverance and what it took for him to have that cup run last year and then go through the challenges he went through this season.
Because if his name was Marc-Andre Fleury, you think they would have voted for him?
That's the implication I'm making.
It's the implication, but like until like, that's what I'm saying is that we can't prove any.
Of course not,
right?
but like I don't see, no one's made an argument other than, well, I can vote for whoever I want. Is this thing I keep hearing,
right,
but I don't hear an actual rationale as to why not.
It's weird because, not to say the Canadians, but in general, for the ones I've worked with, some have a weird vendetta against certain athletes. In the case of Carey Price, I've always said this publicly on air on TSN Radio that, whenever he does a media session with the locals, he'll say maybe 20 words for like 30 questions. So a lot of people get turned off by it, saying, well, we wait for you for X amount of months, weeks, days, weeks, months, whatever it is. And when we finally get a hold of you, you don't say much. And people are like, well, bleep him. I'm not going to.
But not all players are expressive, right?
No,
like,
they're
not.
not.
His personality.
But
it's not like he's going somewhere else to say a bunch of words.
Right. I think in the last year, because of the cup run last summer, and then the very suspicious knee injury rehab was delayed, and people weren't talking about it, and people were saying, well, why isn't Carey talking? And people requested for him to talk and speak to the media, which he wouldn't do. So there's that weird way of people holding that vendetta against Carey Price that, well, bleep him, I'm not going to vote for the guy because he didn't want to talk to us. So this happened.
Yeah, persevere through the media availability, Carey.
Yeah.
All right, next. Not all colors of the rainbow. Several Tampa Bay Ray players did not participate in the Rays' scheduled Pride Night by refusing to wear specific caps and additional logos meant to support the LGBTQ+. There's also 2S, I think, also built in there. Community. It has been reported that the reasons related to the players' faith. And I believe a few people were asked about it, and they said that they support everyone, but that they
don't support them.
But they don't support them.
No, what they said was that they support everybody, but they don't
support their lifestyle, apparently, because of religious reasons.
Yeah, they don't condone. What was the word he used?
It was very carefully crafted. I read the same statement.
And it was like, as a Christian, you're supposed to accept everybody. One.
Was going to say, I read that book.
Two, I don't think that they should be obligated or shunned. It's just that why come out with this whole statement? Like, your statement was already enough. Like,
well, they do know that the Tampa was called the Devil Rays back in the day, right?
It's true. But they had no issue playing for them.
No. Why would you when they pay you?
Yeah. It's I look, the thing is, I keep seeing the straw man argument of like, why? Because a logo is going to change anything? No, it's not about that. It's just showing support for people. It's a kind gesture. It's a gesture of kindness. That's all it is. You don't have to have the same beliefs. You could just say, hey, those are your beliefs, and we support your right to have those beliefs.
That's it.
Because otherwise, you're saying you don't support their right to have that lifestyle. You're saying you don't support their right to have these beliefs. It doesn't mean you have to change yours. You just have to be supportive of others. That's all it is.
If you're so mad about other people living their life the way they want to, then you need help.
Yeah. And it's okay. Nobody's watching the Rays anyway.
There's more people at the Alliance game.
There's more people at Pride Parades.
And more people at the Alliance game than the Oakland A's as well.
That too.
Yeah.
And our last one, Infrequent Flyers Club. Former NHL player Ryan Whitney took to social media to voice his displeasure with Toronto Pearson International Airport.
I'm such a Whitney fan. You have no idea. He's so funny.
Hey guys, Whit here. I don't even really know what to explain. So for people telling me to drive, I can't drive. They have my bags. They won't give them back. So I had Edmonton to Toronto yesterday. I landed around 3. I then had Toronto to Boston at 8:30. Customs was about 3 hours. Got through. Flight canceled from Toronto to Boston. All right. At this point, now I go and I see there is a 400-person line with 2 Air Canada workers. There's a million canceled flights. So everyone's just panicking. So I waited in that line about 6 hours. Near the end of the line, by the way, you know how much my feet hurt? Near the end of the line, they closed it. They just said, oh, you have to go somewhere else. We had to re-enter Canada. We had to go through Canadian customs. So by the time I finally see someone from Air Canada, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah, I've been through.
I said, can I just get my bags? I had a ride to Buffalo all set up, and I had a JetBlue flight from Buffalo. I just need to get out of this country, out of this airport. This is the worst airport on earth. I'm telling you, there's no other airport like this.
At one point, he's like, "This is the worst."
So they say, no, you can't have your bags. Your bags are already like in the middle of no man's land. You can't have your bags. So we have a 8:50 flight for you from Toronto to Boston for this morning. This is at 1 a.m. Okay, I be here at 5 a.m. They said. So I got here at 4:55. I wanted to be 5 minutes early. So I wanted to be 3 hours and 55 minutes early. I get here. This woman says, "Oh, we booked you actually on a flight from here to Montreal and then Montreal to Boston, but that leaves in 50 minutes and you can't make it." They never sent me an email. They just,
I wouldn't lose my mind.
I started laughing. I mean, what are you gonna do? It was either that or like cry.
It's crazy because everything goes through.
So now I'm on a 10 a.m. But there's nobody really around
Flying
the
from
gate.
England to Toronto to Montreal. So what they do is
I'm so in shock at this place. It is the biggest disgrace.
Sorry, Mo, go.
No worries. So what they do is for international flights coming in from outside of Canada, you have to go claim your bags.
Your blags.
Sorry, your bags.
Professional communicator Mocha.
Sorry. Dry air in here. Claim your bags, resubmit it with whoever you're flying as your connecting flight in Canada. So when I landed down in Toronto, I had to go get my bags, go to the Air Transat counter. Hey, need to submit my bags again. Once you do that, then you have to go through custom securities again.
Oh, my God.
So you have to go through all that just to get back onto your flight.
Same thing if you take duty free and you have to transfer through Toronto and everything. You literally have to check whatever you got duty free. You can't bring it back through security. It's the stupidest fucking system.
Ugh, fucking
So
airlines, man.
I always find it a little poor taste when like celebrities use their sort of social media power to like put down like company or whatever, because you know what, like these things sort of happen. That said, it is the worst airport. It's terrible. It's not in Toronto. Also, it's in Mississauga. It's in the middle of nowhere. I had an overnight flight where we were told they would bring us, because we were flying into Pearson and flying out of Billy Bishop, which is in Toronto, and they said that they had a shuttle. We land, they're like, "Oh, well, but the shuttle stopped running an hour ago." Like, but when we booked it, you said there was a shuttle. I'm like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Okay, well, is there somewhere we can stay?" Like, "No, the airport closes for like 2 hours." I was like, "So what?" And then I couldn't wait for the morning shuttle.
The airport closes for 2 hours?
Yeah, it was so weird.
What kind of an airport closes?
Dorval also closes, by the way.
Yeah, because
it's a residential area.
Suburban area.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
So I was infuriated. I had to pay like an $80 Uber to get to Toronto. Then we're like, whatever, we'll stay out and have a couple of drinks. But by this point, it's 1 a.m. in Toronto and everything's closing.
Yeah.
And we ended up booking a hotel to sleep for like 4 hours. Like probably what Ryan Whitney did to then catch his next flight.
Fuck
if you can't,
airlines.
I've since flown to the States to fly back into Canada. I will do anything it takes to avoid Mississauga Pearson Airport.
The worst.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck 'em.
and that's it, boys.
Drive
That's it
to
for the show.
Thank you, Terry, for everything we've done. It's nice to see you in studio, man.
It
It's
is,
been
it
fun.
is, it is.
My
It is.
headsets are dying. I can barely hear anything, but
My
still.
mouth is so dry from that tobacco overdose I just had.
Yeah,
Oh,
Eagle,
man.
please find a way to cut out the overdose.
No, keep it in. Keep it in.
Eagle, thank you in advance for the editing. Mo, thanks for joining us in the studio, buddy. That was awesome. So I want to thank everyone for liking, subscribing, rating, reviewing, doing all that good stuff. If you have not yet done so, please do so. For those who have, thank you so much. And most of all, thank you all for letting me be myself. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.